My name is Bryan Gunter, and this is session 1 for KIN3073. I'm going to begin my general warm-up with some light treadmill jogging. Treadmill jogging can be an excellent way to warm up before your workout. It helps to gradually elevate my heart rate, increase my blood flow to my muscles, and just prepare my body for more intense physical activity overall. This is a key part of a proper warm-up that also reduces the risk of injury and improves my overall performance during my main workout. Like I said before, the jogging activates my cardiovascular system, improving my circulation to my muscles, and just warming them up in general for all the resistance exercises we'll be doing in this session. The jogging also helps to activate key muscles, especially in the lower body, such as the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes, and the calves. It also increases the range of motion in your joints, such as the joints in the ankles, knees, and hips, which may be crucial for dynamic movements during my workout. Here I will be treadmill jogging for only about 5 minutes just to get my body warmed up. Continue on with the general warm-up, we will be foam rolling. Foam rolling may also be referred to as self-myofascial release, or SMR, which is basically applying specific pressure to muscles and fascia that helps release tension and improve flexibility and just reduce muscle soreness overall. As I said before, it improves flexibility by breaking up these adhesions in your muscles, or sometimes often referred to as knots. Doing so can help improve range of motion, making it easier to perform exercises with better form, and it also reduces the risk of injury. Foam rolling also enhances the circulation to the muscles, promoting better oxygen delivery and faster nutrient recovery, which is very, very helpful after a resistance workout. As mentioned before, it does reduce muscle soreness after an intense workout by flushing out metabolic waste and encouraging blood flow to encouraging the flow of fresh nutrients to your muscles. Here I'll be foam rolling for a total of 3 minutes. While doing so, I'll be targeting muscles of my glutes, my hamstrings, my quads, my calves, and even my back muscles. Continuing on with part 3 of the general warm-up, I'm performing tandem walks, also known as heel-to-toe walks, which is basically a balance coordination exercise that can be really beneficial for improving overall stability, posture, and balance. Tandem walking challenges your balance by forcing you to stabilize your body with each step. This is great for enhancing an individual's overall proprioception or an individual's awareness of body position in space. Tandem walking is also very important when it comes to your core muscles. This exercise forces you to engage your core, as you need to keep your torso stable while walking in a straight line. This goes hand in hand with improving overall posture and overall strength. Having a strong core is very important when performing resistance exercises especially. Tandem walking also improves overall flexibility and mobility. It helps to stretch and strengthen your muscles in your lower body, including the calves, hamstrings, quads, and hips, and it can also improve your range of motion as well. For part one of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing leg swings. Leg swings are a very simple but highly effective dynamic stretching exercise that can help improve hip mobility, increase blood flow to the muscles, and prepare your body for physical activity. This movement is often used as part of a warm-up before resistance training, running, or any athletic activity. Leg swings help to loosen up the hip flexors, the hamstrings, and the glutes, improving overall range of motion in the hip joint. This can make movements like squats, lunges, or deadlifts more effective and reduce the risk of injury overall. The dynamic motion of leg swings help to stretch and activate the muscles in the legs, especially the hamstrings and hip flexors, which can become very tight after sitting for long periods or due to repetitive movement patterns. By engaging the lower body muscles and increasing circulation, leg swings prepare the muscles for more intense activity, helping to avoid any strains or pulls that I may encounter during my workout. Leg swings also require balance on one leg while moving another and helps with an individual's overall balance and coordination. For part two of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing open the gate, close the gate hip warm-up, or gate opener hip warm-up. This is a great dynamic stretching exercise that may help to warm up the hips, the glutes, and muscles of the quads and hamstrings. It is particularly beneficial for improving hip mobility, flexibility, and activation of the muscles around the hip joint before a workout. It primarily targets the hip flexors, the adductors, and the glutes, and it is excellent for anyone who is about to engage in any lower body activities such as squatting, running, or any type of strength training. In order to perform this movement, I'll be using the wall for added stability, and I'll basically just be lifting up my leg to about 90 degrees, rotating at the hip joint outward, and then bringing my leg back down, and then repeating the process on each leg. For part three of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing arm circles. Arm circles are very simple but very effective dynamic stretch that helps warm up the shoulders, the upper back, and the arms. They increase blood flow and range of motion in the shoulder joints, which is important before any upper body workouts, especially those involving the arms, shoulders, or chest. As I go through the motion, I will start with generally small circles and then gradually increase the size of the circles, allowing my shoulders to loosen up. part 4 of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing fire hydrants. This is a great exercise for warming up and activating the hips, glutes, and lower back. It targets specifically the gluteus medius, which is important for stabilizing the pelvis and preventing injury in the hips and lower back. This exercise is commonly used in mobility drills as part of a lower body warm-up before exercises like squats, lunges, or even running. To perform this exercise, I will first need to get on all fours, placing my hands directly under my shoulders, keeping my back flat and making sure that my core is engaged. Again, just like the open the gate, close the gate exercise that we did earlier, I'll be keep my knee bent about 90 degrees, lifting my leg outward and to the side. The movement should resemble a dog lifting his leg to a fire hydrant, hence the name of the exercise. I will be performing the movement for about 1 minute on each side. For part 5 of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing the banded around the world stretch. This is a great mobility exercise that primarily targets the shoulders, the upper back, and the chest. This is a dynamic stretch that uses the resistance band to help improve the range of motion in the shoulder joints and just increase overall flexibility. To perform this warm-up, I will need a resistance band. I'm holding it with both hands, keeping my grip a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and I will be standing with my feet shoulder width apart as well. You may also want to have your knees slightly bent just for added stability. I'm going to start with the band in the front of the body, and then I'm going to slowly raise the band over my head, moving my arms behind my head. And this movement should also be very slow and controlled. For part 6 of the specific warm-up, I'll be performing banded three-way pull-apart. This is a great exercise to just activate and strengthen the muscles of the upper back, shoulders, and arms. It uses a resistance band to target the rear deltoids, the rhomboids, the trapezius, and the latissimus dorsi, which are essential for good posture and shoulder stability. This exercise is often used as a warm-up or mobility routine before strength training, especially exercises involving the shoulders and upper back. In order to perform this movement, again, you will need a resistance band. You want to make sure you're grabbing the resistance band with both hands, keeping a shoulder width grip or slightly wider, making sure that you're standing tall with the feet shoulder width apart and the knees slightly bent. Again, making sure to keep the core engaged. You can add different variations to this one by doing a horizontal pull apart or even a vertical pull apart or a 45-degree angle pull apart. Moving on to the main program segment, I will be using dumbbells as my exercise modality 1. My upper body exercise will be shoulder raises. My 3 variations will be lateral shoulder raises, forward shoulder raises, and shoulder raises at a 45-degree angle. Shoulder raises using dumbbells for the most part is an excellent exercise for targeting the deltoid muscle specifically, particularly in the lateral, front, and posterior deltoids. All three variations, lateral, front, and 45-degree angle raises, are great for developing overall shoulder strength and just improving shoulder stability as a whole. I'll be performing each movement in the 8 to 10 rep range, making sure again to keep my core engaged and maybe having a slight bend in the knee for added stability. For my lower body exercise involving dumbbells, I'll be performing dumbbell goblet squats, which is a very effective lower body exercise that targets the quadriceps, the glutes, and the hamstrings, while also making sure to engage your core and improving overall squat form. This is a great alternative to the barbell squat, which may be beneficial for beginners or those looking to develop strength and mobility before progressing to heavier lifts. Here, I'll be holding the dumbbell vertically with both hands, making sure to keep the dumbbell close to my chest. My feet should be shoulder width apart or maybe just a little bit wider. And when performing this movement, it is important to keep your chest up, engage your core, and ensure that your knees are tracking outward and not caving in. For this movement, I will also be performing different variations. I will be doing a dumbbell goblet squat with a pause at the end, emphasizing control and muscle activation, particularly in the lower body. The pause at the bottom helps to build strength, stability, and mobility in the squat position. I will also be doing a variation with heel elevated that will place more of an emphasis on the quadriceps. I will be performing each variation in the 10 to 12 rep range. Moving on to exercise modality number 2, I will be using a barbell resistance. For my body movement, I will be performing barbell shoulder raises with 3 different variations. I will be doing a common grip, a wide grip, and a close grip. All 3 variations are very similar, but each variation does target different muscles. All 3 do target the anterior deltoid specifically, but the wide grip variation, for example, will target more of the lateral deltoids as well. I will be performing each movement in the 10 to 12 rep range, making sure that my movements are slow and controlled, making sure that I slowly lower the barbell back down to the starting position with control each time. Moving on to the lower body exercise involving the barbell, I'll be doing barbell calf raises. The setup here is relatively similar to a barbell back squat. The barbell should be resting on the upper back or the traps, making sure that your chest is high and your core is engaged for added stability. For this exercise, I'll be performing 3 different variations. The first variation, my feet will be pointed forward. That's your traditional calf raise that will target the gastroc. Then I'll put my feet inwards. When I put my feet inwards, the inner gastroc will be targeted, and then I will put my feet outwards, and then that will be the outer lateral portion of the gastroc. For exercise modality 3, I'll be using stability ball resistance. My upper body workout will be a stability ball shoulder raise, also known as an IYRT. This is a great exercise that targets the shoulders, upper back, and core using a stability ball. For the first movement, I will be having my hands placed out directly in front, just how I'm doing right now. For the second movement, I will have them placed at a 45-degree angle. And for the third movement, I will have them placed to my sides, making a T, henceforth the name IYNT. All these variations target parts of the deltoids, the front, middle, and rear, as well as the muscles of the upper back, like the traps, the rhomboids, and the rotator cuff muscles. This exercise is great for enhancing stability in the shoulder joint, helping to prevent injuries, especially for athletes or people who engage in upper body lifting. It also works the muscles of the upper back, as I said before, and the rear delts, which can help to improve posture, especially for those individuals who spend long hours sitting at desk or may have poor posture. This exercise also requires a great deal of core activation. The instability of the ball forces your core to engage and to keep your body stable during the movement, which overall strengthens your abdominal and lower back muscles as well. In order to perform this exercise, I will have my thorax area on top of the ball while engaging my core as I move through the movements, and I'll be holding each position for about a minute. Moving on to the lower body exercise involving Swiss ball resistance, I'll be performing Swiss ball glute bridges. I'll be doing 3 different variations. The first variation, I'm going to have both legs in the 10 to 15 rep range. And the second variation, I'll be doing one leg at a time, placing more emphasis on each leg. And for the third variation, I will be doing glute bridge rollouts. Your starting position should be laying flat on the floor, creating that 90-degree angle with your feet and the Swiss ball. And then you're going to be lifting up, squeezing the glutes, trying to create a straight line from your knees to your torso. Again, it is important that when performing this movement that you squeeze with your glutes at the top of the movement and also engage your core as well. Moving on to exercise modality 4, I'll be performing rubber band bicep curls using rubber band resistance. This is a great way to train the biceps using a resistance band, and it's a great alternative to traditional dumbbells if they're not available to you. And the good thing about resistance band is that you can adjust the resistance by altering the length of the band or by using bands with varying resistance levels. For my 3 sets, I'll be performing the curls with 3 different grips. I'll be doing a pronated grip, a supinated grip, and a neutral grip or a hammer curl. Each grip will target different muscles. The supinated grip that I'm performing here will target primarily the biceps brachii, while the pronated grip and the neutral grip will be targeting more of the brachialis, brachioradialis, as well as the biceps brachii. In order to perform this exercise, I will be stepping on the band, providing resistance, and performing the bicep curls in the 10 to 12 rep range. Again, making sure to engage my core, breathe through the concentric, exhale through the eccentric, and make sure movements are always slow and controlled. Moving on to the lower body exercise involving rubber band resistance, I'll be using a T-loop here, and I'll be doing some banded kickbacks. I will be doing 3 different variations. For the first variation, I will be doing 1 leg at a time in the 10 to 12 rep range. For the second variation, I will be doing alternating. And for the third variation, I will be adding a isometric hold at the sticking point of the movement. This exercise primarily targets the glutes and the hamstrings. I'm going to be holding onto the wall for added stability, but I'm still engaging my core just for that extra stability as well. When you're ready to begin, all you're going to do is shift your weight onto the leg that is not going to be kicking back, and then you're just going to kick back as far as you can go, resisting the rubber band. Moving on to exercise modality number 5, I'll be using bodyweight calisthenics. For my upper body movement, I'll be performing push-ups. I'll be performing common grip push-ups, wide grip push-ups, as well as close grip push-ups. All three variations are very similar, but they do target different muscles on the body. For example, the common grip push-ups that I'm performing right now will target mostly the chest, the triceps, and the shoulders, as well as my core for stabilization. The wide grip, on the other hand, will place more emphasis on the chest, particularly the outer portion of the pectorals, and reduces emphasis on the triceps and the shoulders. The close grip push-ups will place a large emphasis on the triceps and less emphasis on the chest. I'll be performing all 3 sets in the 10 to 12 rep range, making sure that my movements are slow and controlled. Moving on to the lower body exercise involving bodyweight calisthenics, I will be performing wall sits. Wall sits are very simple but highly effective isometric exercise that targets primarily the quads, the glutes, and the calves. I will be performing 3 different variations of wall sits. The first variation, I'll be using both legs, just as you can see here. For second variation, I'll be doing a leg lift, putting the focus on one leg at a time. And for third variation, I will be doing heel lifts as well. For the variation involving heel lifts, there will be a higher emphasis placed on the calves, as well as the glutes and the quads. I'm performing the first set for about a minute or so, holding that position. The second set with the leg lifts, I'll be holding for 30 seconds each. To make it, that one is a little bit harder, and just to make it a little bit easier, I will be pausing in between at about every 15 seconds. Moving on to exercise modality 6, which is going to be kettlebell resistance. For my upper body exercise, I will be doing kettlebell bent over rows. Bent over rows are target the muscles of the back, particularly the lats, the traps, and the rhomboids. In order to set up, I'm going to have my feet about shoulder width apart with my chest up. My torso should be almost parallel to the ground, but not completely parallel. For my 3 variations, I will be doing single arm bent over rows, alternating bent over rows, and double arm bent over rows. Again, when performing these movements, it's always important to keep your core engaged and try to keep your elbows as tight to your body as possible. Moving on to the lower body exercise involving kettlebell resistance, I'll be doing kettlebell RDLs. My 3 variations for this exercise will be traditional RDLs with both legs, single leg RDLs targeting one specific leg at a time, and sumo RDLs, which is basically a wide width RDL, traditional RDL. To correctly execute this movement, you want to make sure that your feet are about hip width apart to begin, while keeping your chest up and bending at the hip with a slight bend in the knee for added stability as well. Always keep your core engaged as well. Again, here when performing single leg RDLs, I just want to emphasize the importance of core activation for stability. To close out my workout and begin my cool down, I will start with some light treadmill walking. After a high intensity workout, it's very important to bring my heart rate back down gradually. Walking at a moderate pace for about 5 minutes will allow my body to cool down naturally and helps prevent injury as well. The low intensity walking can also help my blood circulation, which may aid in the removal of metabolic waste products like lactic acid that may be building up, and bring more nutrients and oxygen to the muscles, and which will potentially speed up recovery as well. Moving on with the cool down, I'll be performing a series of static stretches. The first stretch I'll be performing is a wall calf stretch. In order to perform this one, I will stand facing the wall with one foot in front of the other, placing my hands on the wall just for added support, and the other foot will be placed about 1 to 2 feet behind me, and I'm making sure to keep my back leg straight and bend the front knee. Here I want to make sure that I'm holding the stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. I will only be performing it once in the video, but you may repeat the movement 2 to 3 times on each leg. Here I'll be performing another static stretch. This is the standing quad stretch. You want to grab your heel and bring it into your glutes as much as possible, and should feel a nice deep stretch in the front of your thigh. Here I'll be holding each leg for about 30 seconds and switching to the next. In the video I will only be doing this once, but it is recommended to repeat 2 to 3 times. Next, I'll be performing another static exercise. This is the knee to chest stretch. This is a great exercise to improve flexibility and just relieve tension in the lower back, hips, and thighs. Here I also added in some ankle rolls. Not a must, but I just like to include it as well. And again, I will be holding each leg for about 30 seconds or so, switching to the next. And again, if possible, I would repeat 2 to 3 times. The next stretch I'll be performing is another static stretch for the hamstrings, also known as the hamstring stretch. To set this one up, you're going to have one leg extended in front of you with the other bent at its side. You're going to reach for your toes and lean forward as much as possible, and you should feel a nice deep stretch in the hamstrings. Again, I'm going to hold this position for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and repeat on the next leg. And again, if you can repeat 2 to 3 times, I would definitely do so. The next stretch is known as the butterfly stretch. The primary purpose of this butterfly stretch is to stretch the muscles of the inner thigh. Here I'm going to sit down with my knees bent, feet together, and I'm going to slowly try to push my knees down towards the ground and stretch those muscles of the inner thigh. Again, I'm going to hold this position for about 30 seconds to 1 minute and repeat as necessary. The next stretch is known as the overhead tricep stretch. I'm going to bring one hand over my head and bend that elbow, and with the other hand I'm going to try and press that bent arm into my head, getting a nice deep stretch in the tricep. Again, I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds to a minute and repeat as necessary. The last stretch I'll be performing in my cool down is a crossbody arm stretch. The main goal of this stretch is to stretch the muscles of the shoulder as well as the upper back. I'm extending one arm across my chest completely straight, and with the other arm I'm going to pull it closer to my chest. Once again, I'm holding this for about 30 seconds to a minute and repeating as necessary.